I rise to speak in support of this motion, and I'm delighted to hear that it is the intention of the government to only fund programs that work, because active kids vouchers work, as do creative kids vouchers, as do back to school vouchers. And what they work to do is to give families choices and enable them to ensure that their children, sometimes for the first time, participate in sport, that they have the right school shoes to wear to school, that they can go on excursions, that their children can participate in arts and creative programs that they want. These programs came from listening to mums and dads. And this debate actually highlights a very interesting philosophical difference between those on this side and those on the other side. It's great to hear about the great, let's move the levers and change the system. We want to work with families and empower parents to have that choice and parents to have that dignity to be able to make sure that they can pay the soccer fees. And that is tremendously important. And it is not at all regressive to ensure that all families, all parents have that choice. In fact, we all heard Dominic Perrottet yesterday explain that, quote, "We did not means test those family support policies because income is not the sole determinant of wealth or capacity to pay." You can look at two people on the same income, and then you can look at who is dependent on that income. And unless you are really taking that into account, and also a lot of the other expenses that those families need. Let's look at this family that might have two kids in soccer and a third who is learning piano. And we've talked about housing. Let's look at the cost of mortgage repayments. The average mortgage repayment has gone up $20,000 per year for the last 3 years. This means that your average New South Wales family with a mortgage is paying $60,000 more than they were 3 years ago. And what does the National Australia Bank tells us is happening? Parents are cutting back their gym memberships. Parents are cutting back their participation in sport. And what happens next? Piano lessons and soccer fees go. With no more direct cost of living support from this government, what happens to those children and their opportunities to participate? How many of the families which nurture our next Olympians will be from New South Wales? This is a really serious, a really important issue, and to deride it as silly vouchers shows that this government is not listening to families, is not listening to people standing at soccer fields, and is not listening to people who wish they were standing watching their children play soccer because they can no longer afford to pay the fees.
Thank you. The honourable member's time has expired.